The sun is finally out. The last couple days we've had so much rain. Oh, there's the sun, it heard me. It's kind of coming in and out today and it's pretty windy, but it's the perfect day for us to get some more of our barn done. We were able to pick up some more shingles since we were literally 12 shingles shy of being able to finish the roof. So we re-tarped it, waited for the rain to come. It was kind of like that moment where we're like, oh, do we really have to, after all this work, put that awful tarp back on? It saved the barn. We're gonna get the rest of the shingles done today. We wanna get the rest of the board and batten done and see if we can completely finish this by end of day today. But we have another DIY that we have to do today and time is ticking. So I need to get to that as soon as we're done because today marks a very important milestone on our turkey hatching. So we totally regretted this decision. And although I so desperately want the ducks to be able to use the little stream that's running through our woods back there, and I so desperately want to have this area fenced off for our flock community because I've been planning it for the past couple of months. I've slept on it since we put this here, and I just know that it's not going to be the safest spot. No matter how much we fortify this, we also have a lot more trees to fall to be able to do our fencing. So to start putting the coops and everything that we need to build to get them moved is going to be difficult to get in here and have to fall trees. So we're going to try to move this to a different spot. And now we're regretting this decision even more that we have to move this.
This will be a good spot when the ground's rectified and then we have a little bit more safety protection from wild animals in the area. We kept going back and going, well, first off, Elysia can't stop thinking about the turkeys and they haven't even hatched yet, let alone them being back in the woods where you can't see them, you don't know what's going on. We can add security cameras, but by the time the security camera warns us that something's happening, it's
gonna be
already
too late. We didn't lose any chickens back where we're going to put the turkey run, and this is gonna mean that we can keep them separate from the chickens and ducks, and they'll be able to free range in a fenced off area as well as have nighttime protection because there will be a coop that will be in here, and this will be fortified a little better than it is already right now. But this is gonna kind of check all the boxes that we need to do to properly care for our soon to hatch turkeys. How are we gonna move this? The listing online says this is about 500 pounds. How many feet are we gonna try to move this? So we, in just relation to where we are, so we're back where we were falling all of those trees. The horse corral is there, house is there, mini barn and garage way back there. We need to move it all the way back further than the mini barn. We got this, hon. We got this. Do we really got this?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, when you live with boys, no idea is a bad idea. So Philip's idea is to use a quad on the front and the back and be able to somehow tandem drive this up the hill. We have several hills to get to that point. This could either be our most brilliant idea yet or our biggest catastrophe yet, but I think we're both willing to give it a shot. teamwork makes the dream work. Oh, that was not easy. Not easy at all. No one's injured. It's all in one piece. We became one with a barn, a garage, a tree, a fence. I don't even know what else. But it's in place. Now we just gotta level a little spot so it can sit all the way flat. Good job. We got it where it's gonna go. So now we're going to fill the septic hole that was there with the dirt that you can see that's making it so it's not sitting level right now. The door is really accessible to be able to get out. This whole area will be fenced in when we do our post with the auger and some cattle fencing. And the turkeys are gonna have this whole big area. There's a whole bunch of room where we'll be able to actually like have them free roam in here and get the bugs. There's a shade tree. We can make them all the roost apparatuses. I think this is gonna be really good for them. Much safer anyways, and that's the key thing.
I was literally on the roof and I was coming to my last shingle and I was yelling down to Elysia and I was like, Hun, you're not gonna believe this. We need one more pack of shingles to finish this roof. And the storm was coming in and I knew it was gonna rain, and the last thing I wanted to do was put the tarp back on this beautiful, now freshly painted barn. It was either I jumped off or I put the tarp back on. So unfortunately, we put the tarp back on.
The weatherman was not honest with his weather report. Very inaccurate. We were supposed to have 3 days of nothing but sunshine, and we got gypped about a day and a half. So we have a little bit of a bone to pick with the weatherman. We are now out today. The weather's looking great, and we're gonna get tackling the rest of this. But we still have quite a bit to do. But honestly, I'm so thrilled with it. When we walk out now, we're like, okay, we're half done the biggest eyesore on the property. So I think it's gonna make a huge impact when we get this finished up. And then obviously, all of our scrap pieces from this project surrounding this barn that we kind of have going on right now, we'll be able to get cleaned up, put away, and we'll be able to get going with the next project. This tarp.
Are you kidding
You can
me?
see how windy it's been the last 3 days.
Oh yeah, it tore it to shreds. Move the tarp. Honey, you got it. No, you get up there, you take the tarp off, and I'll just wait till you finish.
Well, I can get up there if that's what you're challenging me on. You're like, can
I
you
don't-
actually get up there and do the tarp? Yes. I'm
It's
not
just-
afraid of heights anymore.
It's just getting
back
down. Yeah, you can get up
I
there.
can get up there, no problem. It's the backing down the ladder. Funny story, one time we were actually coming to Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
When we first were doing our East Coast tour, where we fell in love with being here and figured out eventually we would want to move here, we rented a Winnebago that we were traveling for 2 weeks around the entire East Coast. And one night we were at one of the campsites, and I don't know why we got onto climbing on the top of the barn.
Well,
or
because
top of the Winnebago. What
in
was
the
that even about?
campsite, they had these twinkle lights throughout the whole forest, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And so we wanted to get on the roof and just take it all in from a scenic point of view.
I'm trying to remember why we were even going up there. So there's a ladder up the backside of the Winnebago, and then you can get onto the top. Well, I got myself up there. I couldn't get myself back down. It took a lot of convincing and a lot of like really high nerves to be able to get myself off of there. And I knew at that point that I had a height issue, which I never knew I really had before. And then I conquered my height issue when we built the studio building. I was getting on and off that barn with the ladder, no problem.
Yeah.
But so I think I could do it on here, but
Yeah, you could.
it's just
This is
I
about
haven't done it for a while.
this is about the same height.
as the studio building.
Yeah, it is close to it. I'm not lazy. I could walk and go get the shingles. It's just one pack. I know what you're thinking right now.
The man at the hardware store looked at me like I thought I was like Hulk or something, because I went and picked up my own shingle pack, threw it over my left shoulder, and walked all the way across the whole warehouse out to the parking lot and put it in my truck by myself. And there was like 4 guys standing there. He just looked at me like, this girl's crazy. Or freakishly strong. It just depends on how you want to look at it.
I'm not going to do that.
So the shingles that I picked up are actually not the same brand, but they're a very similar color name. So I'm hoping that it's a close enough match. Since things take so long to get to us, we're kind of limited as to what we can get. Oh, here comes my Daredevil. Really? So the ones that we did have were called dual black, and these ones are called two-tone black. And again, not the same brand, but I'm hoping they're close enough because that's literally all I could get. So it is what it is. Yeah, they look
to be the same, and it literally is the last 2 rows, and most of it gets covered with the cap anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be a problem.
It takes weeks for us to get anything if we deliver it to, like, have it ordered and delivered to our place, and this is just our local store up the way. So luckily we have that. Otherwise we would have been waiting a long time for just 1 pack of shingles. And I think he needs about 12 shingles, and I want to say 16 come in a pack. Wow, it was so windy, it did a number on that tarp.
Whoa.
Did you almost slide? Fill up.
There's some loose shingles up here.
I'll fold her up once you drop her down. Or we can teamwork it in a minute when we...
Yeah!
There you go.
Sweet.
I'm not going to say that there was a big, really dark cloud that went past us, but it just went past us.
It's looming above us.
There's the big gray cloud. I don't think you can really tell on camera, but we're blue skies over here and it gets really gray to the right of us. As you can see, I still need to do the board and batten and remove all of the wood along the bottom of this side, and we haven't done anything to the back yet. And there's a few things we need to repair on the back. There is a window and a door and some trim work that needs to be done there so that we can make sure that works, because we are going to want to utilize and open that back screen door on some of the warmer times we have coming up.
Oh, it'll be close. It'll be close.
They only had one.
16. We need 16.
Okay. And then you have pieces that you can cap it.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use all those to cap because I just used the 1 tab.
Yeah, so we're not wasting it.
Right.
Okay. They had one of the dual black. They just got so many colors in on big skids.
Yeah,
And there's just
we
one
only
loose
do
pack.
black.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
They had gray, brown, like a reddy brown. They had all the things. They did not have any more dual black. Is this your nail box?
Yeah, like a squirrel hiding his winter food, I too hide my winter products. These are my winter nails that we just uncovered. That there must have been a full box underneath this wood that we didn't know about. The
Box deteriorated.
box deteriorated and left me with all these beautiful roof nails. So, and Elysia is so glad me.
My Lululemon fanny pack. It's actually like can be a fanny pack or a side purse or an over the shoulder, but it's coming in handy.
Or Bob the Builder's tool belt.
You're really styling for your roofing job today.
Well, I mean, I am wearing all the
Rest of the Lululemon gear.
Yeah.
So we're able to get all this stuff put away. We're just picking up a few of these loose parts, like there's a garden shovel and a couple little hooks there, a spring for an old trampoline, and some roofing nails. And then we've got this main area here cleaned up. We can rake it. We're getting there. One small area at a time.
I had no idea these were even under there.
Well, I did buy a new box in the garage, but better use these ones up first, because first of all, we don't want them on the lawn, but also...
All the nails that I used are from this spot. I haven't even opened the new box yet. Well, we're using what we got.
So far, we've spent a total of about $65 to be able to do the barn, which is amazing because we already had the paint left over from the wood shelter. White paint was left over from another project. He's using ground roofing nails, even though I did buy him a pack. So I included the new pack in that $65, and we had to get a pack of shingles now, which was surprisingly like almost $50 for one bundle. I had no idea shingles were so expensive.
The premium shingles?
They must be.
Made out of gold? Although I hear gold prices are down, so shingles might be worth more.
Might be worth more. I love now that she matches the garage. But we need to finish the trim work at the top, and then obviously the other 2 sides. And then we're gonna need to add a little bit of color, because right now the white is very white just on the door. So we need to kind of ground the white a little bit, like tie it in some way, and add just a little bit of color so that we can make this a little more cheery. So although we do love the exterior of our home, we didn't renovate it. So if we were the ones that would have decided on what we were going to do to the exterior of the house, we probably would have picked white siding. and maybe like a different color trim work or something, but we definitely would have incorporated some type of a wood tone with a white, and then had lots of greenery and, you know, other things that we're adding to the acreage. But they did this darker color, and so we're making do with it, and we don't not like it, but it's not our absolute favorite. But, you know, I think it looks nice, and it does add that little bit of like color rather than having something that's pure white. And honestly, I'm sure if we had a white house, although we would love the look of it, we do get a lot of the green moss really quickly on the siding, and so I don't think that white would have really lasted or been able to keep clean with all the storms and stuff we have. So maybe it's a blessing that we have a darker property house, but we're going with it to make the other exterior buildings the same, because I don't think we're changing the siding on the house anytime soon. That would be a pretty costly project.
Looks good, babe.
Finish the roof and then we can work on the bottom. I need you to help me rip some wood. Hurry up, Phil. I'll just wait down here for you. When you're done, you can help me with my tasks. I don't really think you'd be able to tell on camera, but it's pretty dark going over us every once in a while. We'll see how far we get.
What do you mean see how far we get?
I meant on my tasks. You're doing great on yours. It's literally gonna rain.
Is
What
it?
the heck? Yeah. It's like the clouds are moving real quick and it's real dark behind you. I don't think you can see it on camera, but...
Don't jinx it. It's not gonna rain. Kinda. It's a little darker.
Yeah, the other ones are probably a little bit faded too, though, because we had them on the property for a bit, so...
Sure, babe.
Give them a couple weeks.
Sure.
I don't think you'll notice.
Okay.
Maybe on your drone shots, but as close as we could get it. Two-tone black, dual black. I mean, it means the same thing, right? It means two black colors on the same shingle. Beside the barn, there's a whole bunch of really old barn boards that I'm assuming were either left over from old projects. Who knows how many years they've been there, but they're rotting and they're really gross. But the problem is, so we have to just move them and set them aside somewhere else so we can burn them eventually, because right now in Nova Scotia it's wildfire season, which means that we have a complete fire ban pretty much every single day across the province. And so we have to check a spot online that basically gives you permission to burn that day based on what county that you live in. We haven't had any burn days at all, except for one day where it was absolutely monsooning and raining. So we haven't been able to actually get to burning any of this old wood that we're finding. So I'm just making a pile of it. It's so bad. Over beside the garage here, so that when we can do a burn, we can get rid of it and get it off property, because I don't want to have this stuff all just sitting around all the time.
Double down, throw some dice, take on now, don't think twice. Hey. Don't you want to play? Hey, baby, come on. Tell me where you gonna go. Baby, I don't work down there anymore. No, I don't.
So Philip's taken all of the scrap pieces from doing the shingling, and he's cut them into the sizes that he needs to be able to do the capping on the roof. So he's hoping that he has enough. I collected any of the original shingles that were here that had fallen, as well as any of his pieces that he had kind of tossed down. Made a pile, he cut a bunch. He's just heading up to be able to try to finish that. So it's day 25, and it is a milestone for our turkey eggs. We're so excited. We are just like in complete turkey mode. So very exciting that we are on this last 3-day stage of our turkeys hatching. So we should ideally have turkeys hatching by day 28. So what this is called is going into lockdown. And so because it's day 25, we're going to increase the humidity and take out our egg turner because they no longer need to turn. All right, you want to do it? Yeah. Good job. Maybe Chase's gonna set it over there for a second. Good job. what we need to do is we need to remove our egg turner. We are gonna unplug it all, but for right now we're just gonna remove it really carefully. Without any eggs falling off. Well, that's nerve-wracking. This one egg is right here. So we want to increase our humidity, so we're going to add a little bit of extra water. We've been between 50 and 60% humidity, and now we want to be up around the 75% humidity. So I'm going to add a little bit extra. I'm going to keep an eye on it in about an hour, and then I'll know if I need to add a little bit more. But it'll be really important that we don't let our humidity drop over the next couple of days. And once we put the turkey eggs in, we cannot open this, which is why the glass top of the incubator is so important, because you know we're going to want to peek inside, and this way we'll be able to see what's going on and show our YouTube family what's going on without having to open the incubator. Yeah. Okay, so we need the white tray. So the humidity tray is underneath. It's just a clear tray with different like water canal sections, and then yep, you can put it in. And then that is our tray that our turkeys are going to hatch on. It just sits on top. Now we need to move our turkey eggs, which is so nerve-wracking for us because we've had them upright with the fatter ends up, and now we're allowed to lay them on their side and then put them on the tray. You want to start moving them in?
Yeah.
We're just going to pick them up and then choose the easiest side. See how they're leaning this way?
Yeah.
So we're just going to pick it up this way, and we're going to lay it on that side then, okay? Okay, you want to do this first one that's kind of falling already? Be gentle. And then down on its side. Perfect. Just like that.
Oh, they're warm.
Yeah. Good job.
Honey, you gotta do one.
I will. Save me the big one in the middle there. I'll do that one in a sec. All right. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the other day we did a really quick candling, and I think 2 of these maybe are not viable. So I'm counting on 10, hopefully 10 of the 10 that look good are gonna hatch. Yeah. We ordered 2 dozen turkey eggs. So this is like very low numbers compared to what we were hoping to have. But we're still really hopeful that we're going to have still at least maybe 8 or 10 turkeys. And turkey babies are very fragile, so we're really fingers crossing that we can be really successful with this hatching. Oh my gosh, and now we don't open it. Okay, no opening.
No opening.
We're completely locked down.
Do not
There's an
touch.
invisible lock until the 28th day. And so from what I read online, we aren't supposed to even open this at all, even if we see hatching, until all of the eggs that we think are going to hatch have hatched. The 3 of us, the next 48
Yeah.
to 72
this is
hours
it.
will just be this. If you're wondering what the YouTube family is doing over the next 3 days, this is where it will be. So later tonight, we need to have a little brooder set up for them. That will just be for maybe like their first 3 or 4 days. So we're gonna set that up with a little feeder and some pine chips and a little heat thing, and make sure that we're ready in case we have any that hatch earlier, and we wanna make sure that it's ready to transfer them out once we have our hatchings. Then once they grow a little bit bigger, we'll make them a bigger spot. But for the first few days, we're going to be sitting with them in a bin with just exactly what they need, keeping an eye on them. So we've also lowered the temperature just by 1 degree. We were doing all of our incubating at 100, so we've now dropped it down to 99, and we're hoping our humidity will be up at 75%. So you can see how we have this beautiful glass top here, so we'll be able to show you what's going on. I'm going to get the GoPro and all of our extra gear all charged up, so as soon as we see some hatching happening, we can document it. But how cool to have the glass top. Thanks for being part of our journey. I'll see you tomorrow.